I started with 3,000 birds. Then the journey was fair, it was good. I was encouraged. I moved on to 6,000, moved on to 9,000. Then COVID hit. Then the egg sales were like half the price. So we couldn't move on so much with the birds. We decided to sell almost a half of the birds because we had to stay in business. We had to manage according to our finances. So put out the birds. Then also 2021 wasn't a bit easy. It was after COVID, but still the economy was still up and down. So we continued slashing, but we didn't want to give up. So we couldn't sell everything and give up on the farm. Since this heart had decided to me, I don't give up. When I hold it, I'm like, yes, this is what I've decided. I'm going to do this. Come rain, come sunshine, I'm here to stay. So what I decided, I cut to, right now actually I have like 3,000 birds. I have the ones that are laying, like 2,000 are laying, and around 1,500 are not yet laying. They're like 2 months, 8 weeks, like you see. And this year I know it will go higher. The prices are good. Starting from last year, prices are getting better. Prices are good. The weather actually has been really good to us. The production, since we use maize, mostly it's like almost 60% of what we are using is maize. So usually in Uganda, when the season is good, when the rains are good, the maize prices are usually a bit low. So right now actually in Uganda shillings, I think it's around $2 per kilogram of maize, which is a bit fair for our production. And the other ingredients are also okay. So starting this year, we are moving ahead. We are having a brooder coming around of around 1,500. So we are hoping that by mid-year, our capacity will be fair and we shall get there. I'm Mawanda Nancy. I'm located in Kampala, Uganda. I'm a layer farmer. I specialize in layers. Antonio, welcome to my farm. I'm really grateful to meet you. I've been seeing you on YouTube and I'm really glad that you're here. Chicken farming, actually since I've grown up, since I was young, my mom had layer birds. So I've seen layers ever since I started understanding. I've seen my mom lay birds. That's how she got an income to raise us, to pay for our school fees as a single mother. So I got the interest from her. I decided, I went to university, studied, but after everything from the jobs, the salaries, the long hours, I concluded like I love poultry and I'm going to do poultry. With the poultry farming, first I was a banker. I was in banking for like 10 years. Then there was a lot of ups and downs in banking. Banks were closing and I really needed security. So I concluded like, let me make up the money so that I can start poultry farming. Since I had all the background knowledge, I didn't have too much because I used to just look at what they're doing and I wasn't really into it at the moment. But I decided that since my mom was doing it, I have someone who is really knowledgeable about the poultry farming and she wouldn't let me down. So when I talked to her, she's like, it's okay. If you're ready and you going to be committed to this, since it really, really needs commitment. She's like, go ahead, I'll be there, I'll guide you, and we shall make it. So that's when put in my resignation, told my friends about it. People were skeptical. They're like, Nancy, no, you can't do this. You can't leave the bank. This place is secure. You have a salary per month. When you go there, you'll be the one paying people. I'm like, no, let me try. Actually, first when I brought the bags, I was still in the bank. And I would run, just tell the manager, excuse me, I have an emergency at home. Hop onto a boda, run to the farm. That's when someone has told me there is one bird that has died. So I would just hop on a boda, run on the dusty road, get to see my birds, then jump back on a boda, back to the bank. Everyone like, but where are you coming from? You're dusty. It's because I really had to be here. So after like 3-4 months, I'm like, no. Once I sit here, I know I will make it. I'll see everything firsthand. I'll look at the birds. I'll know what is going on. I'll call the vet on time. I'll talk to maybe my mother, tell her the situation. Maybe she will come and advise. So that's when I decided I need to put in my notice and I concentrate on farming. So the good thing, it didn't really disappoint me. Of course, there are ups and downs. Birds are sick. Birds are, the feeds are expensive. I have to learn the formulation. But I was like, yes, this is what I've decided and this is what I'm going to do. And then I really sat at the farm and I decided to learn everything. I note down whatever disease I get, I note down so that next time when I have it, I have a reference to it. Everyone wants to be a farmer. When people look at you, they're like, hey, Nancy, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a farmer. I just want to join poultry. What can I do? But one thing for sure, poultry needs commitment. You have to be really committed and you have to love it. Passion actually is the biggest thing with poultry. In case you don't want to look at the manure, you don't want the dust, because of course there has to be a little dust. If you don't want that, maybe you won't be able to manage. Because for example, me, I wake up like at 5. When I wake up at 5, I have to make sure the birds are fed on time. Because actually birds are among all creatures. You see when the cock crows, when the cocks crow, like in the morning, they know the time, they know the lunch time, they'll do it again at lunch, they'll do it again at 5, because they know the time. So about the birds, time is really important. You can't say that today I'm feeding at 5, tomorrow I'll feed at 7, the other day I'll feed at 8. No. So here we keep the time. I make sure like at 5, people are up to make sure they feed these birds. They give them their feed at 5, then they have to check the nipples. They have at around 8, they have to come and arrange the feeds. Usually some birds are eating more than the others and there's feed remaining. So they come, touch into the feeders, make sure the feed is really properly. For every bird has access to the feeds. Then afterwards, I come around, I have to look at the nipples, I have to look at the feeders, especially the upper feeders. Usually, not everyone is told to reach the feeders, but I make sure I find somewhere to stand actually, to look through the feeder, and I find out like, oh, the birds are fed, because I'm not a very tall person. So that's what I do in the morning. I know my birds. Actually, when you feed, once you give the feed, you will see some birds staying back. When you stand behind the cage, you will notice maybe this bird, whenever feed is given, for it's not happy to feed. So I find out, why isn't this bird feeding? Does it need separating? Because also the birds bully themselves. Sometimes they can bully this one bird and it won't feed and end up dying. So that's when I have to come in and I change it, maybe give it its own compartment, make sure it's fine. And they come through. They come through. Eventually you're looking like, yes, this bird is now okay. So maybe at lunch, we have to give feed at lunch. At lunch, we give like 70% of the feed in the morning. Then we give the rest of the percentage at around midday 30. Of course, I have to come back and see, are the birds feeding? Is the water okay? Is it moving? Are all the nipples having water? The tanks, of course the water comes from the tanks. You have to make sure the tanks are clean. Everything, because you're the person who loves the birds. Before you come, remember you're the person who really loves this business. And the employees love the money they are going to get paid. So you as a person, you're the person who has the last say, the last eye on things. You stay around till the birds, the houses are closed, because you're the one who has the love. Other people have the love for their salaries. So that's how I do it. Lunchtime check, morning check, evening check. There's picking of the eggs. You know, we are all human, so some other people want to gain from you more. So you have to know, are the eggs okay? Sometimes you're not around and the eggs are not okay. So you're wondering, when I come, I can do 50 trays. When I'm not around, why am I doing 48? So all that is from the passion. Don't just sit back and say, even at 48, I'm still getting profit. You have to find out, is it the birds? Are they the employees? Because most of them, they are funny sometimes. So not to victimize them, but sometimes they are really funny. So all that you have to know. Sometimes it's maybe that deworming, it can cause you that. Then also from the passion, there are vets. Vets can come around. You have to know the vet. Also, you have to have an idea. Go around, search. Go to Google. No, the birds are behaving like this. What's wrong? Even when the vet comes around. So that when the vet gives you the medicine, you have an idea of what you're treating. You have the idea of what is contained in the medicine. That's how you really pay attention. That's where your passion comes into play. I started with depleter, where my birds are down. But depleter is a good system actually, because it's kind of cheap. However, it has a bit of challenges. There's egg collection. The egg collection in depleter actually has to be every after 20 minutes, especially at peak, from morning up to midday. Every after 20 minutes, you have to be there. Otherwise, the eggs will break. The eggs will be too much in the laying boxes. So you have to pick them every 20 minutes. That's why I adopted the cage system. Cage system is not a cheap system, because for now, one cage of around 160 birds, it goes for 1.5 million Uganda shillings. So it's expensive. It may not be for you as you start, because you may choose all your capital to buy the cages. Yet the birds have to grow and feed, and they start producing. So, but I opted for cages because the birds are place where I can rear around 2,000 birds. In depleter, I can actually rear over 5,000 in cages. So since I really needed the numbers to keep me going, I decided, let me go for the cages. They're expensive, but you really have to fix, and if you need them and you see like you don't have enough space, especially around Uganda, plots are a bit small. We don't have those very big farms like in Europe, where you see people having like acres and acres of land for their farms. Here in Uganda, you can have around half an acre. Some people even do quarter an acre for their farms. So that's why we opt for cages. Not because we don't know what they say, maybe cages are not good for the birds, but somehow we also have to earn a living. Uganda is not a first-class country. It's a bit low, so we have to work within our means so that we can survive, so that we can take care of our families. So that's why we really opt for cages. They're expensive, but we need to move. We need to live actually. It's living. It's our living. We need to live. We need to feed. We need to take care of our kids. We hear what they say about cages, but that's what we can do for now. My lowest moment actually came last year. That's why I really have low numbers right now. I had to go for maternity leave. Before I went for maternity leave, I stocked up my feed. I stocked actually everything because I use lime, I use maize bran, and concentrate. So I stocked up. I'm like, okay, for at least 2 months, going for my maternity leave, everything will be fine at the farm. My production was around 85%. I had around 6,000 birds. Somehow I was confident. I was like, yes, the people I'm living at the farm, they know what to do. I was there with them for like a year plus, and I was sure they would take care of the farm. So since I had like a C-section, I wouldn't move to the farm. I had to be home. But before, when I went to hospital, after like 3 days, they started calling, like, oh, we have a calcium deficiency. Meanwhile, I bought like 2 tons of lime to add in the feed. I'm like, what's going on? I can't move. Why is there a deficiency? Then I sent the medicine. I'm like, okay, let me send liquid calcium. Maybe it will help. Like, okay. Weeks went on. They started, they wouldn't, actually they would just report, we have these eggs, we have these eggs. But you notice every other 3 days, you're three trays down. Then you start worrying, what is going on? Meanwhile, the doctors are telling you rest, because I had it was really not an easy pregnancy, and I was really depressed that moment. Since the farm wasn't working on well, then I had to add a baby. So after 3, I was home like a 2.5 months, 3. When I reached my farm, I usually, all my birds are sometimes 3 per compartment in the cage. There were 2, some were 1. And when I left, I was giving like around 150 trays. I was down to 50. Then I went down to 30. Then it was too much for me. I had to sell the birds because I didn't know, are they the birds that are sick? I've been sending medication. Is it the management I left here? Is someone stealing from me? So by the time my baby was around 4-5 months, actually I was down to less than 1,000 birds. It really put me down. I felt like giving up. But like I told you, my mom is like my biggest supporter. She was like, you know what? People who are letting you down, they're not the people who put you up in the first place. So don't let them, don't allow them to put you down. I'm here. Pray to God, I'm around. I'll always support you. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. Since that day, I was really encouraged. Actually, it wasn't a good moment for me. When I looked at this farm, I was just tearing because the birds were not there. The capital was gone. There was nothing like a profit. But I told myself, Nancy, you can do this. And I came and I said, okay, let me start. Buy 1,000 birds, push it, let them lay, continue. Buy another 1,000, continue till today. Now I believe I will make it. By the end of the year, according to my projections and my books, I know I'll be where I am a bit okay. Like I said, I started with 3,000 birds, went up high to around 9,000 birds. However, there are challenges with the sickness, with the finances, with the COVID. Actually, it was a really big blow. I had to go back down to 3. However, I really work hard at this farm. That's why I'm still here. So many farms have closed, but I'm still here and I'm here to stay, God willing. So just in case I get funds, I know I can shoot out. My capacity can go up to 20,000. I have another building there that because of the finances, there is nothing. There are no birds in there, but before there were birds. So just in case I get enough funding, maybe I get someone to help me out, I know I can raise up to 20,000. If I can partner with someone, maybe someone passionate about poultry, someone ready to work with me, with the capacity I have, the building capacity, I can go to up to 20,000 birds. And with 24,000 birds, you can really make some good profit. And with that profit, you can help out people. There are people around us who need jobs. When you have that capacity, of course, you're employing more people around you. When you have that capacity, you're helping the community, even with the agriculture bit of it, because you produce enough manure for your village. And sometimes you may not hand out money to people, but you can help them out. They need fertilizers, you have them. Even the good health of the children around the community, can donate. If you have the eggs, it helps with the families. Some families that are not really doing well, if you have you can buy their produce from them. You can be able to help around with their community. Good prices really help, like for the maize farmers. If you have the capacity of like 20,000 birds, the maize farmers around your community, around my community actually, you can buy from them at good price so that they don't go around struggling with the prices in the other bigger markets. Even the teenagers, the boys who don't have tuition, you can help out. I'm really passionate about helping other people. Look around, I have the structures, I have the cages, I have the experience. The greatest thing is I have the passion for this thing. I love this thing, and I can do it from morning to evening because I love it. With that, the only limiting factor right now is the finances. In case I get maybe someone wants to partner with me, I'll be really grateful. Maybe someone who can fund this project with me, I'll be really grateful. Because what does it need? It needs me, who has the passion, who has the structures, who knows and has the experience about poultry. So for my capacity, for example, is 20,000 birds. In case someone is funding, you book in advance. Book the 20,000 birds because there is a scarcity of birds sometimes. Book the 20,000 birds in stages. The advantage of stages is you get your birds. For example, the 20,000, you can get after 2 months, you can get your 5,000 birds. 5,000. You get your 5,000 birds, you rear them. As these ones get old and get off, already there's another batch which is new that is coming in. So with the funding, you can stock feed. You stock feed. For example, right now feed is a bit cheap. The maize is a bit cheap since it's 60% of our feed. With the funds, I can buy the feed right now in bulk, so that even after like 2 months, when the feeds will be really high, I'll still producing at a low cost. Then also the eggs can be many, but I can buy at an outlet. Get an outlet like in town where all the eggs go, since you don't really want people around the farm due to biosecurity, people coming from different places, they can make the birds sick. But with the outlets, people can get there, they can buy the eggs there, the wholesalers, the retailers, and with that, the market is covered. To the youth out there, poultry farming is a profitable business. It's enjoyable. Seeing this one-day bird they give you, and you raise it, before you know it, it's 2 months. Before you know it, it's 4 months. When you look around, the eggs have started coming. It's really fun. If you have the passion for poultry, you can start small. You start small. The good thing with the poultry farming, when production reaches, then you can bring another batch. Then your capital goes on growing. The one you started with will grow and grow and grow. As long as you love poultry, you'll make it to the ladies out there. Farming is a good thing. This is a business you can do at your home. When you have your free space, structures, the beginning structures may not be so big, may not be so expensive. They're actually structures that are cheap for poultry. So if you have your home, you can just get a structure of around 500 birds. Since you're at home, you'll work at home and you'll love it. It won't take you, like you have transport to move to go to work. You have to think about all that. You just have to be around your birds and you'll have fun. And the fruits of your labor, you will see them and you'll love them.
Nancy, hi.
Fine.
Good, you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
How is it? How does it feel to be a chicken farmer?
It's nice. It's actually good.
You can't regret?
I'm not regretting.
If you have to go, if you woke up one morning and then you find yourself seated on the desk with the computer in the bank.
No, not anymore.
Really?
Not anymore.
Wow.
Not anymore, yes.
Congratulations once
again. Thank you.
Yep. But today our conversation will not be so nice, right?
Okay.
Because you want to learn, right?
Yes, please.
So Nancy, tell me, which breed is this you're keeping?
It's a brown.
It's a brown?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. According to the supplier.
According to the supplier.
Saying it's a brown, yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
And what is your production percentage at this time?
Right now I'm doing 78%.
I'm not so sure, right?
Yeah. Around 78%, yes.
Okay.
Production is not really good.
What feed are you giving them?
I'm using a concentrate. So I add the concentrate, the maize brand, and limestone.
So the layer concentrate, right?
Yes, the layer concentrate.
Good. Now, what amount of feed are you giving them per day?
120 grams.
Per day?
Yes, for the laying birds, yes.
Good. Now, Nancy, when you're doing your farming,
yes,
I would love you to do it as a business.
Okay.
To you, Nancy,
yes,
because you've been a very good follower, that's why you're here.
Thank you.
And to our viewers,
yes,
first, you have to do the current mode of farming, the current one.
Okay.
One is very important. Know the type of breed of chicken that you're keeping. First, you know the breed.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
I am keeping breed X.
Yes.
All right? Now that you're keeping breed X, before they came up with that breed, they did the research with that particular breeder.
Okay.
Let me take an example of the best layer today, which is the Highland Brown.
Okay.
If there's no chicken in the market, we could compare to Highland Brown as per today.
Okay.
Now, when you know that I'm keeping a Highland Brown,
yes,
you will know. Because the bird will come with the manual. All right?
Yes.
You'll be able to know that this bird is supposed to feed these grams per day during this age.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
So let me just take a quick swipe to your current state on the farm.
Okay.
I quickly ask you about the breed. All right?
Yes.
And then I went ahead and asked you what is the percentage production.
Yes, please.
Then I asked you how much feed are you giving them.
Okay.
You see, this is a business.
Yeah.
And what you're getting out is the eggs.
Yes.
And what you're pumping in is the feed.
It's the feed.
And the breed.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Good. Now, for example,
yes, please,
your chicken are laying 78%. You're not so sure.
True,
So that
yes.
brings us another challenge if you're not keeping records.
Okay.
And if you're keeping your records, then be really into them, familiarize with them.
Okay.
This will help you also control some other things like egg losses. We're not condemning the workers. Maybe, for example, some workers are funny. You could lose some eggs along the line.
Yes.
So if you have your record in place very well, you'll be able to get the results. Okay.
Yes.
Now, you are giving this bird 120 grams.
Okay.
And it's laying, the production is 78%.
Yes.
You are likely to operate at a loss.
True.
Very likely. You know why?
Why?
Egg production starts at between week 16 and week 18.
Yes.
Okay? Now, at this point, you're supposed to be giving your bird averagely 90 grams per bird per day.
Okay.
That is at 18 weeks.
Okay.
The moment you start seeing the first
egg,
like the moment you introduce the layers mash, you go ahead and now start giving at 90 grams. You start layers at 90 grams per bird per day.
per day. Okay.
Now, the reason why I tell you that know the breed, so that you can be able to monitor the percentage production. Now, at this time, you don't give chicken feed according to the age. You give them feed according to the egg output. You understand?
Okay. Understand.
You get in a sense?
True.
When you start laying,
Yes.
We don't give the chicken eggs. Don't feed the chicken according to the age. We feed them according to the number of eggs they
Yeah.
give us. You don't give us eggs, we don't give you feed.
Really?
Not completely. That's just,
Okay.
that's just like exaggerating. What I'm trying to mean is this. Start with 90 grams.
Okay.
As the production increases, you also increase the feed. Not exponentially, gradually.
Yeah. Okay.
All right?
Yes.
Now, by the time you are at week 36, you are producing at about 96, 97% if it's the Highland brown.
Okay.
Now, if you're producing 96 to 97%, that bird is so much stretched. By this time, the moment we touch 96% production, we also touch 120 grams per bird per day.
Per day.
You understand?
Yes.
So that now we can be able to sustain the production, for that particular time, whereby the curve is flat between like 36, 35, all the way up to about 52. All right?
Okay.
The production will be peak. So now that's when we'll be giving them 120 grams. Now, beyond that, the egg curve starts
to go
dropping or declining. But it is not a steep decline.
Okay.
It is a gradual
Decline.
Yes. So as it's declining, you go back to what you're doing. You decrease. As the egg is decreasing, egg count, the feed is also decreasing.
Okay.
Gradually.
I didn't know
gradually. Until by the time you're getting to 72 or 80%, or the time the bird is giving you 50%, you are back at 90 grams where you started.
Okay, that's new. I didn't know that.
I think I need some claps. For my you get the sense?
Okay.
So,
I didn't know that.
That way, you'll really be able to make a kill.
Okay.
You see?
Yes.
Yeah, because if I tell you today, reduce your feed. The moment you cut this feed from 120 to 90 grams, the chicken will have shock, culture shock. But remember, scientifically, if the birds are producing 78% production, they are at about week 70 or week 80, they will never increase, but instead they will keep
Dropping.
dropping.
So if you maintain the feed.
They are feeding for someone X layers. Someone is happy. They are just gaining weight, you see?
Yes.
Yeah. The profit comes from reducing the feed, increasing the eggs.
Increasing the eggs, yes.
You see?
Okay.
Yes. So that is one thing I really wanted you to pay attention to. So when you bring your next flock,
Yes.
trace it from the hatchery. Know the breed.
Know the breed.
Okay?
Know their consumption rate.
Exactly. I will gift you a manual.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I have a manual. I will send it to your email.
Okay.
You can have that manual as your yardstick to guide you. Now, the other thing I would like us to pay attention to, well, I see people condemning cages so much, but one thing they forget is a cage is built to a certain standard. You cannot have, for example, a cage for 3 birds having 6 or 7 birds.
Yes.
So with the research and scientifically, if a cage is meant for 2 birds and you're having 2 birds, that's fair enough.
It is yes.
Remember, feed that we give the layers is meant for eggs, nothing else.
True.
We are not interested in the bird screaming, jumping, flying, you know.
Yes.
This is Africa. Africa is so much advanced like Europe, whereby you sell the eggs according to whether it's cages or depleter,
Yeah.
free range. If I walk with my eggs to the market and I say this one is for free range, you think someone will offer me a shilling extra?
Not at all.
Please.
They were-
Farming is not a beauty contest and it's not a philosophical school.
Yeah.
We are doing it as a business.
Yes.
So, cages, you will be able to get the right number of eggs from the bird because there's no egg eating, is it?
True. Yes. Yes.
With cages, you'll be able to control bacterial infections. Yeah? Salmonella. The chicken is not coming in contact with the poop, is it?
True.
The only source of infection is water and feed.
Feed, yes.
There's less spillage. So how can someone tell you that cages is a bad thing? Do you agree?
I do.
Okay, let's leave that for another day. Now you paid attention to the feed.
Yes.
You paid attention to the number of eggs.
Yes.
Now the other biggest challenge with cages is handling of manure.
Yes.
The moment your manure piles up, 3 to 4 days,
Yes.
and
Becomes
your
a problem.
yeah, that's a problem. And the structure is not well ventilated. What is the most common problem you'll have?
With the manure,
Piling for those number of days.
the smell, the ammonia.
Now you're talking
Yes,
about
the ammonia comes up. The smell. Then the flies also come around to contaminate your food, the feed and everything. The biggest challenge actually is ammonia.
Now, tell us something with ammonia in production.
Of course, when the environment is not good for the birds, the production will go down. Yes, you affect the respiratory system of the birds.
Now you're talking.
Yes. So with that, of course, your production will have to go down because the birds will not be happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
In my career,
Okay.
my lowest moment, if someone would ask me what is the lowest moment, there's a time we were keeping chicken in Somalia, central Somalia, somewhere called Garo. And we were doing about 35,000 layers.
Okay.
I traveled home, Kenya, for a week to sit for my master's cuts. So I went back to the farm. The following week, I lost about 1,000 birds in a single day. Simply because when I came to Kenya, we were using the automated system. The conveyor belt broke down. The winch got cut. They were not able to fix it.
Wow.
So the manure piled for those number of days. The last 3 days before I came. Now, when you see a chicken producing a hissing sound like a snake, like, you see that?
Yes, yes, sir.
Then they remove their heads out of the cages and they open their mouths as if they are thirsty, producing their tongue out like a snake, like hissing, Like that.
Pulling the air,
Yeah, looking for the air, gasping for the air.
gasping for the air. That's the right word.
Then relaxing back. Just know you have too much ammonia. You could not be smelling it because you're used to the environment.
True.
But that's not that you have too much ammonia. So make sure that you don't have the manure piling for those number of days. But now, what I would also want you to do, I can see your droppings are dropping right to the floor.
Yes.
That will give you hard time in cleaning,
Okay.
in fumigating the structure. The next
For the
floor.
next floor. Okay.
Now, we are in a story. Up here, we have these layers. Down here, you will bring another flock.
Another flock, yes.
But you see, when the poop drops directly to the floor, and there is some leakage of water, seepage of the same to the floor.
To the floor, yes.
So if you have an infection up here,
Down will be infected.
the sweeping of the floor is dust coming up. When the chicken are
Inhaling the
Inhaling.
dust.
Now, my advice for you is get a tarpaulin, a plastic polythene.
Okay.
Then you clean this floor and then you spread it under the
cages.
But don't have one running from there to there. It will be very difficult to remove.
remove
the
it.
manure. How we used to do it in Somalia, we used to have it every cage with its, like we cut it into pieces, then they overlap each other.
Okay.
So when you're coming with the wheelbarrow, you just fold, put on the wheelbarrow and replace with another one.
Okay.
Yeah. Then by that you'll have a very clean structure. Then
Like
can-
you pull it out from here.
yeah, like
then-
you see there's a space you can enter from there.
Yes.
So they come with a wheelbarrow, they can put here, then we used to enter, we remove. I know it looks like, but us used to do it.
It's okay.
Yeah,
You
you just
can do it too.
enter, you fold, because it's just small, it's for a cage. You fold, you put on the wheelbarrow, you replace with another one immediately. And then you go to the next one like that, like that. It used to take us 45 minutes to change
To change
the
it.
manure tarpaulins for a flock house that was having a capacity of 5,600. And we used to keep 740,000 birds in Somalia.
Okay.
So if you can be able to control that, then you're good. From the look of things, if I look at your feed, okay, just from the look of it, it is good. The quality is good. And the formulation of the feed will be reflected in the output.
Yes.
So whatever you're getting, if you compare it to the manual and you see it's matching, then it means your feed is okay. Then now you work on the costing of the feed. If you find that the costing is okay, you are in business. But if you're finding the production is lower than the expected production, then the feed has a problem. Things are okay, the production is okay. Also, at the same age that they're supposed to be producing that much, don't be comfortable and assume that your feed is okay. You go and do the calculations and see if things are balancing. Because sometimes there are components or ingredients that you can play with. So the bottom line is, when you have a good hygiene, you have got lesser mortalities, you've got lesser stress for the birds, and therefore they'll have more output in terms of production. This will be supported by the feed. If you have good feed, support the same. Do you do flashing of this nipple system?
Yes, we do.
You do?
Like once a month.
Once a month? What type of vitamins do you use? Do you use the powder or the liquid vitamins?
For flashing?
Yes. No, for giving the birds.
For giving the birds?
Yes.
We use the powder ones.
Powder ones.
Yes.
Good. I highly recommend and encourage you to go for the liquid. They are slightly expensive, not very, but slightly expensive. If you use those ones, there is less sedimentation. Sometimes when you look through this pipe, you're seeing like a black coating. So you have to do the flashing. Now when you're flashing, what do you use for flashing?
Hydrogen peroxide.
Good. So when you're flashing, sometimes you find that the pipes are like, they're not so straight.
They're not so straight, yes.
So you can have some residues remaining
that can sit in the
system
when
they are consumed by the bird.
Okay.
Either the bird will suffer from stress, stop production for some time before it picks, you are losing an egg. Either you lose some birds. You know, when you lose a bird, you're losing an egg. You understand?
Yes.
But when you use the liquid vitamins, the liquid medications, there's less flashing. You can even go for a whole year without flashing.
When you use the liquid ones?
Yes.
Really?
There is no flashing because there's no sedimentation.
Okay.
There's a company, I don't want to market for it. It used to be, I used to use that so much whenever I used to have my production of eggs depressed. Whenever I could give that one, you know, it was a good vitamin. The birds would pick up very fast. There was one with having an active ingredient of cholesterol. So I used to combine two. The birds would become very well, the school will become okay, farm, and the production will be back to normal, especially after vaccination. Whenever I could use it, I could see the results. But the problem I was having was too much flashing, like every week. Yeah, because
because the residues will stay in the pipes. Okay.
They will stay in the pipes. Until when now I discovered the use of the liquid. Slightly expensive, not very, slightly expensive. But now in the long run, the results are good.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you go to buy a drug or a medicament or a vitamin, you first ask for the option of the liquid.
The liquid.
If it's not there, then you can take that.
Okay. That's
Do you know that sometimes we give combined vitamins, or even sometimes you can combine a vitamin with an antibiotic when addressing a certain infection?
Yes.
There is a certain vitamin that cannot be mixed by a certain antibiotic. I did that once. The moment I put them in the bucket, the good thing I had not put in the main tank. I was mixing using a bucket. The moment I put in the bucket, I could see some white, like mist coming. 3 minutes, 3 seconds, it was finished like soda. But now, when I could push my hand inside the bucket, the thing had become like a rock and solidified.
Really?
Yes. So we have to also be very
careful
in mixing some of these medicaments. But you're doing well. Guys, she's doing so nice. The hygiene is good. The passion is nice. Everything is perfect. Nothing much to correct. She's a good student, learning much from our videos.
Yes,
and we hope that she's gonna do it. And if you wanna partner with her in this venture, passionate about poultry, you don't know where to start, you've got the finances or the passion, visit her. reason together and see what you can do together. Is it?
Yes.
I'll be happy to come and find you at 20,000.
Thank you.
Is it?
Thank you.
You can show me around.
Yes.
All right.